No, he normally doesn't, but I would assume he's coming. Yeah, I saw him last week because I went down to where he works. I toured his last week.
You guys are live.
Oh, we apologize.
No, it's 6 o'clock.
You were ready. All right, well, we'll start, and then if Jason comes in, he can come in. All right, so we're going to call to order the meeting. The Carbon County Animal Shelter Advisory Commission Board. These proceedings are being recorded for the purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. The meeting will be in perpetuity on Facebook. Let's just have a moment of silence and prayer. And let's stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next we'll do roll call. Christina's here. Dr. Dawn is absent today. Peggy's here. Tawny's here. And then, as of now, Jason Bell is not here, but hopefully he'll be here soon. Okay, next on the agenda is the Happy Tales part. Does anyone have any Happy Tale stories from the last month that they would like to share? No? I'll share. Last week I got to tour down where Jason works. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool how they do things. There was a lot of cats, a lot of dogs, a lot of great people, and all that good stuff. But I just thought I'd share because it was cool to see. Even though it is a lot bigger than Carbon County would ever be, it's similar to Lehigh Valley where they have a lot of animals. They definitely do things differently in that way than we would ever do. But it's cool to see how many. Not just how they take care of the animals, but also like all their departments they had. And obviously they only had like a couple people per department, but they had like all of these departments and all these like people doing all the different things. So it was cool to meet everyone. And the one thing I really took from it that I thought would be cool to do up at Carbon County was they have like the whiteboard with all the animals' names on it, specifically the dogs. And like it was cool how they had different magnets where like if a dog was heartworm, they had like a little heart for the heartworm, and they just put it next to the dog, so everyone kind of knew, volunteers and staff and all that. So I thought that was neat. I've seen like whiteboards like that, but never like the different magnets and all that good stuff. So I don't know, I just thought I'd share.
That's cool.
Yeah. Commissioner, do you have any happy tales?
No, I don't.
Okay. And we don't have any anyone on Zoom or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, approval of the minutes. Did everyone look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, can I have a motion made to approve August minutes?
I will make the motion.
Okay, can I have a second? I'll second it. And then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, awesome. It looks like we have no guests or public comments or anyone wanting to speak tonight. Commissioner, do you have any comments, or do any of the commissioners have any comments?
No comments. Everything should have been sent through Ellie.
Which they did.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then chairman's comments. The only two things I have is for under the chairman's comments every month, we're just going to thank everyone who donates to the shelter. No matter if you want to be named or not be named, thank you so much in all the ways you donate. And then the second thing I wanted to just update Best Friends. We talked about it in the work session. However, I want to be transparent and talk about it, that I recently reached out through the partnership And I reached out to our Northeast representative with Best Friends, and we were just talking very general things and like what we're doing, the board and all that good stuff. And she was interested in coming probably to a work session at first and then maybe to a meeting, but having a work session with her and just kind of talking as a board how we feel about things. So we'll just have to decide what day. She wanted me to give her like 2 or 3 dates in the next like month or two. So I'll reach out to you guys and see what dates work best for everyone, and then we can do that in a work session. Oh, and also actually with the Best Friends update too, I haven't emailed Maria yet, but I've been doing the data now each month with the partnership, and I'm realizing that on our director's report, not the director's report, but, well, it is the director's report, but it's like how many dogs are coming in, that we need to have a better way of like knowing if they're stray or if their owner relinquished. And we do have the owner relinquished one, but I'm gonna like send out to Maria if we can just put stray on there too, so it's easier for me to input into the partnership. So that's just one other little update that will help, I think, moving forward to know the difference. All right. Okay, and then the director's report is next, which was submitted by Mr. Tom Connors, and I will go through that. And this time we have the correct month and year and all that good stuff, thanks to Tawny. Okay, so it looks like we have almost every position filled. For the employees, the only one that isn't filled is one of the canine officer part-time, so that's really great.
There was just a request put in, may have been late last week. Tom did want to hire a canine officer.
Oh.
Don't know specific which position it was for, but we did see something, a higher recommendation come in to us.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 6 people are working up there right now, no matter if it's part-time or full-time, which is great to see and hear. Okay, and then, here it is on the back. And then animal status is total number of kennels this month is 16, as it always is. Number of dogs starting of the month, it was 26. Number of dogs ending of this month was 15. The adoptions we had this month was 12. Owner surrenders taken in, 1. Hold and release to owner, 5. Dogs rehomed instead of shelter, 3. Total number in care at one time, 26. Police calls, 6. And calls after hours, 7. And then the facility report, we have interior status, nothing to report. Exterior status, nothing to report. And then outstanding work orders are the rear exit door to yard replacement is in progress, and cameras to be installed for security. Okay. Next, we will do the committee report. So we kind of just really went over the facility upgrade recommendations part. We were just following up with everything, but I know that we just heard about the exterior doors, and I know the bath spigot got fixed too, from what I read, I think. Hold on, I have it on my email. Oh, that's not on there. The employee entrance door, signs for both the employee and visitor doors, back door to kennel room ordered. Yeah, they were all ordered, but I'm not sure about the.
There's a screen door that was put on the front, right? I
Yeah.
think we had the screen door on. The back door was ordered.
I'm talking about the bath spigot.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that one for sure. So we'll have to see. But all the other ones, yeah, were on there.
Okay.
And all followed up and taken care of. Okay, and then the next is the HVAC, which is started, from what I know and what I've heard, and it's going good.
Yeah, it's going well. currently, just got an update, probably, it was today. They were putting in the ductwork. Fortunately, there's enough space up above in the crawl space that they're able to keep the existing system operational while they're installing the ductwork. They are waiting for a concrete pad to be put in for the HVAC system, and Larry is working on that. It looks like probably by mid-October we'll be done.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's proceeding as planned, no hiccups or anything.
Good.
Yeah.
And can I just add to that real quick?
Yeah.
I met Mr. I believe it's Mark Kuchta's son.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to say that his dad was very pleased because he was a big contributor to the HVAC system. And he was very pleased, and he asked if I would bring it up at the next meeting to say that he's very thankful that the ventilation system and HVAC is going in. So, and we thank him too for the donation and the support.
Yeah. Awesome. And also the outdoor kennels, I realized I skipped, but I know they were placed.
Yes.
I've heard that. Okay. Awesome. And then the last one for the facility upgrade was the security, but I already said how cameras were going to be installed, so that is being taken care of also. All right, next is the advertising, marketing, fundraising, kind of everything else committee reports. So the first thing we have on here is the print advertising. Commissioner, that you're here, I don't remember if we brought it up in, was it the last meeting? It was the last meeting, but I wasn't sure if that was one the commissioners were like no to or not.
Ellie should have sent all the responses consolidated.
Right, that one wasn't on there.
That one, the printing was not?
I don't think we officially asked for that yet.
Did we not officially ask for it? Maybe it just got, there was a lot of things last month.
Yeah, check because you sent separate notes on each one. I would go back and check your record to see if that one was on there. And I'll look through the emails to see if I can find it also.
Well, we'll just bring it up this time just so it's out there.
We didn't submit a written request.
Right. Yeah, we didn't do that. Right. Yeah, so we'll just talk about that. I also think it might have been on our part because a couple of them we were told that it was possibly not possible because it was about the was this the pizza boxes and stuff, or was that separate?
That's pizza boxes and print advertising.
Yeah, pizza and print.
They've done printing on pizza boxes before.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
totally. Yeah. All right, yeah. So we'll just bring it up this meeting, so there's no more confusion. So yeah, the print advertising we wanted to do, was just the pizza boxes, and we've talked about this at other meetings about doing it. So we're just going to make a motion to send this over to recommend it to the commissioners and all that good stuff. So
and give if you could give a purpose of it, kind of the message that you're trying to send, how it will be resourced or financed, or if there's a cost involved.
when we send it to the commissioners, or right now.
But when you send it to us, make sure the who, what, when, where, why. Kind of what the message and stuff like that. Just so we don't have to go back and forth asking questions. You kind of answer them in advance and stuff like that, so we can ensure that gets done.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so let's make a motion to recommend this to the commissioners. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
No second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Okay. All right, so that's that. And let's just sign this now while we're doing this. They're all over here.
No, I don't see that one have been on, that wasn't on the list. The first one was the stickers.
Okay, yeah, we did a lot last month too, so it probably just didn't happen. Is there a third one over there now?
You want someone? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll find out later. Okay, next was the shelter supporter sticker. So we recommended that last month to the commissioners, and the response we received was that was fine to go through with. However, the commissioners just said that, and make sure I understood the email, Commissioner Lukasevich. I was told in the email that we just wanted to do one logo, so it wouldn't be like a yearly logo, right? A yearly design.
That was the thought, consistency and branding, you know.
And costs and all that
Right,
good stuff.
yeah, changing, right.
Yeah.
If you got 500 stickers, you only use 200 of them, you know, so that was the thought on
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so good to go through. Just as of now, we're not going to do it yearly. And then to put in the design, it has to be a donation of $50 or more. So we can, I guess the next question for the board, and then we might want to wait until October with more of us here. But just like how, like, you know, are we thinking, do we want to do this, like, has to be, do we want to do this in 2024? And if so, we have to, you know, putting it out and doing all that stuff. So, I don't know how that will look, but we can talk about it. We can even, if we want to, talk about it at a work session, because there'll be more of us there. And then in October, have a better plan, and then talk about it at the meeting, the official meeting. That's just my opinion.
Like, let's do bullet points, how we want to get it set.
Yeah.
How we want to advertise it.
Right. And if we want to get,
how
like,
we follow up with it.
yeah, if we want to have the logo, like, out by January, or, you know, how that looks, basically. Because obviously we need a couple of months to
Yes.
advertise and do all of that, so. But yay, we're going to do it. So thank you, commissioners. All right, next is it's the yard sale and fall foliage table. So I'll start with the yard sale. We were told by the commissioners that we definitely can do a yard sale, but we're going to do it in the spring, just due to the HVAC.
That was Tom's recommendation also, remember? Right.
Yes, it was Tom's. Yeah, and it will be easier, I think, for the shelter and everyone to do it in spring. So we will talk more about that and how that will look in the coming months. And then the next one was fall foliage table. The commissioners recommended to not do the fall foliage informational table due to it brings out more tourists than local people. They did recommend to us, however, to do a better target would be local food markets. So we can definitely talk about that more for, you know, because I know when I thought of that and saw that email, I was thinking of like the Slatington market or something like that.
For us, it was one of the primary purposes of the table display was to help raise awareness to get volunteers. So therefore, volunteers tend to be local.
Yeah.
So you have to focus on local people and where's the highest traffic of local people? Well, it tends to be the food markets, the gas stations, the post office, things of that. And we see the supermarkets are used all the time by nonprofits for that. So that was the thought.
And even like that like Heighton local market too. Like it's a good
Balance.
Yeah.
Balance. Yeah.
It's a good recommendation because like like you said. So we can talk about that more, but we won't be doing the fall foliage table. Next was the calendar fundraiser, and I know that was a no from the commissioners due to money and donations and all that. So we will just say no and something to consider in the future, and we'll just take it off our agenda moving forward. Next was the November half price for veterans. The commissioners voted yes on that, and that we can do that annually for November. And then the last thing on this committee was the discounted adoption,
The vouchers.
or the vouchers, yeah, for, I think, what did we say? It was for just, and not, it wasn't veterans.
Yeah, it was like first responders, people that helped, volunteers.
And, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be under Tom's discretion
Mhm.
each month. That, yeah. So that was a yes decided. All right.
We should probably just make sure, and we'll talk to Tom and Marie about this, that we're tracking that.
Okay.
Because it has to reconcile, if we're giving a
Yeah.
voucher, it has to reconcile with the books, right? And it may
Yeah.
already be reported in some form or fashion, but again, if it's cost X and you're reducing it by X, you know, it just needs to be able to be audited so we can track it.
Yeah. So just make sure we're tracking it.
On discount vouchers, every once in a while I will see a comment under one of the posts on the dogs. People will ask if we're running any type of specials. I just saw, I don't remember which dog it was, but a woman had made a comment and asked if we were running any type of specials like for September on discounts. So I don't know how we want to get that out there. Like, I know they, whoever's running usually just says, you know, the web page isn't monitored, especially if someone shares a picture. So how we would do that? Are we going to post something up at the shelter like in November, or not like the regular, the half
For
price,
November.
but the November adoption?
I
Like,
think Tom usually does it in the paper too.
That's
does
what I was
he?
gonna
Okay.
say.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
to
say,
me,
how
it
do
just,
we get the word out?
yeah, I would say the paper.
Okay.
That would be the best.
All right.
Yeah. And then word of mouth.
Yeah, I know, and I'm like,
Well, the other thing is to make sure you get with, if you do some type of flyer, get it to Christine LeClaire, our VA administrator. She'll get it on her social media
Oh,
page,
okay.
right? On her
What was her
veterans.
name?
Christine LeClaire, our Veterans Affairs Director.
Okay. All right. Okay. We have no correspondence. And then next we'll do old business. So our old business was having the mission statement, the new mission statement, be put onto the Carbon County website, which was approved, and it has been posted. It looks good. I looked at it I think it was yesterday maybe. So it looks really good, and that's awesome. Okay, the second was team building. I feel like we could probably take team building like off the agenda because we're doing more team building ways like work sessions and all that good stuff, unless you guys want to keep it on. But
I think
Yeah.
everybody seems to have a hand up in the shelter. Like
Yeah.
we're all taking turns going up, working together. The after the team, or not the team building, our Zoom meetings.
yeah, the Zoom meeting.
Zoom meetings.
The Zoom meeting.
So
Okay.
I think it seems like we're all on board. We have a good staff here and commission, and I think it's good to take it off.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we'll take that off for now. If we want to put it back, we can. All right, next is the Canine First Aid and CPR class. I know when I talked to Jason last week, he said that he had a contact. He's not here tonight, so we will just table it until October. But it sounded like he definitely had someone that could possibly come to the shelter. So that sounds exciting, and I'm excited to learn more. And then another old business was staffing. We put under here future discussion at workshop meeting to suggest wording, the changing of wording on certain job descriptions. We didn't really talk about it, I feel. So if we want to just continue to table it, and we'll bring it back up when we talk about it. Okay, is there anything else under old business that anyone else wants to? Okay. All right, and then new business. So I was given Dr. Dawn isn't here tonight, but she did want to bring something up, and I will bring it up for her. We wanted to talk about and we talked about this last month, but possibly having like some kind of foster program. Obviously, we know it might not be like a normal foster program by any means. I'm just gonna read what you wrote, Peggy. So it's super simple. But at our last meeting, Dr. Dawn brought up the point that our shelter was built to home strays and help a dog in a situation when an owner passes away and there's no family to care for the dog. Times have drastically changed and many give up their dog with no second thought. The phone at the shelter rings daily with someone needing to rehome their dog or dogs. It is not beneficial for the staff or the dogs to have these dogs go from a home to the shelter and then try to get adopt it to another home. It would be more beneficial for the dog to be able to go from the current home into a temporary placement home, even if it is a foster home for a short period of time. And then there's just other examples, but so basically the board wants to put in a motion to suggest to the commissioners to do some type of foster home. I know we talked about last month doing maybe even, I think Jason brought it up about doing like maybe a referral, and I think Dr. Ton too, I don't want to like put words in her mouth, but possibly said, could we like work with another local shelter rescue that they could house a dog that we want fostered and work with them. But obviously, how does that work with like insurance and all of that good stuff? That's like definitely something we need to know. So right now we're just going to recommend to the commissioners to do some kind of foster home and then go from there.
Well, I think that's too vague. Should
Yeah.
I say, okay, give me the details. How do you foresee it playing out? Mm-hmm. What is your recommendation, right? Because you're an advisory board. A recommendation is to have this program, but then again, I always say the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, and how. What do you envision? Do you envision just a referral office? And again, because we'll always talk about the liability, right? Mm-hmm. Once the county gets involved, it becomes a consideration of a liability. But that's just one of many factors. It's cost. Who's going to do it? How's it going to be managed? And again, entering a new world where, normally if you could put a one-pager together, just kind of describing what you envision and allow us to make a decision based on what you foresee or how you guys envision it playing out, it's a lot easier. Otherwise, we'll spend 10 months going back and forth. I'd much rather have at least the 80% solution, and then we can work out that 20% and stuff like that,
Right, and we could always give you like 2 options too.
Right, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, normally, again, you might have 3 courses of action, but you guys recommend course of action 1 because of A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, that's good. And it may end up being a hybrid of course of action 1 and 2 because of things you may not be aware of in the way county government has to operate and stuff like that. Yeah. But give a little more detail. I think it's more helpful for us.
I wonder if we should do this in October, because I would be interested to reach out to a local rescue and see what they would say, like how that would even work. And if they would be in, I don't know, I'm just saying because it does sound like maybe this is a little vague from
maybe get our
T's, ducks in a row.
Do you have a work session?
Yeah, we don't have a work session.
Well, this is a perfect thing to put together in a work session, right?
I do.
With a concept.
I do agree that I think having more of an actual this is what it's gonna look like, and having 2 options of that, because we do want to do maybe possibly referral or something else, and how that would look.
Right, and I think the main thing is to keep them from coming into the shelter. Once they're on shelter property, then they're county property.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's why the referral thing is kind of nice. How do you connect You know, someone who wants to give up a dog to someone who will provide foster care for it. you
And
know?
I personally know a lot of people who do that. I just don't know how that looks. Like,
Right.
I would be interested to reach out to them and be like, how
Yeah.
do you do this? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the other challenge is that, again, are you now having to create a vetting for the foster families? And so now you have to manage that.
Yeah.
And with that, again, comes that unfortunate liability, because now versus maybe you use social media to connect the two, right? Where there's actually the county itself, you know, it may be on its social media page. I don't know, but you know, again, how do you, like I think you clearly stated, you know, how do you keep the county out of it as much as possible so it doesn't become more challenging than it should be? It's a hard nut to crack, though. I think, you know, you're gonna have to be involved in some measure.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm
You
right.
know?
And I think we do kind of vet a little bit, like when somebody is posting to the shelter saying it's at a home now. So people are sharing it, saying before I bring it to the shelter. So if you can get enough people just to interact on a post like that, you see it all the time. You know, please, I'm desperate before I have to give it to the shelter, and then everybody starts sharing it. So like that's like a course of action too, to get it out there publicly. And we got to figure out something like with us, like how we would not like advertise it, but how we would word it to our followers and say, look, we have this dog, without bringing it and stressing it out in the shelter. Does somebody want to?
And having kind of like a separate area than just, I feel like, the Facebook, like the regular Facebook, which is, I mean, it's good. It's like informational, but yeah, I think things get like crossed a lot when it's like just one page and everyone's just like sharing all of the things.
Or have a link to go, like from the main page, say if you're interested in fostering, and then put a link there, and then but we have to put our bullet points in order and say, okay, this is what we're going to do to keep the dog out of the stressful part of the shelter before it, like what Dr. Don had said. It's coming from a home life, and now it's going to a shelter. Then it's going to another home. If we can keep it in a home life situation and just stay with somebody. So we'll work on that in October.
We'll work on that in our work session.
So there is somewhat, GIS mapping has a list of, and that's Jason Shellhammer. He has a list on his GIS website, an application where he lists all the surveyors in Carbon County. So again, and the reason I bring this up, because he lists them all, but assumes no responsibility, nor does he rate them, you know, this is a 5-star, this is a 4-star. So this is a way how he's kind of avoided the liability of having recommended a particular surveyor and stuff like that. So that same kind of thought process has to apply. You know, how can you leverage maybe the county website, yet ensuring, you know, the fingerprints aren't totally on it. You know, there's some, you know, we're just providing potential contacts or something.
Yeah,
I think there's a way to do it. It just takes some brainstorming. And,
You know, like we're going to provide resources.
Yeah, it's
like
like
have
that
a like
counts,
disclosure saying, okay, like if you go to this link, this is not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
it's like we don't want
when
the
you click on it,
accountability of anything. Like it's us,
Yeah.
right.
but like you
But we
it's
can
a
have
resource.
a resource
Yeah,
link, and
right.
then like a little disclosure saying that you
Yeah.
know it's not. You're leaving the county's website to look at this link or something like that.
Yeah.
Just disclosure.
This is not under Carbon County.
Right,
Yeah.
Kind of like when you're like applying for something online and you click,
Yeah.
okay, you're no longer on this site, you're going to this
Yeah,
site. Just map it, like you said,
Yeah.
mapping.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll talk more about it. And too, it'll be good to hear what Jason and Dr. Don have to say in the work session about it too. Okay, is there anything else for new business that you guys have?
Fencing in the side yard.
The fencing?
Get a quote.
Get a quote for the fencing in the side yard.
And that's Tom if you'd like that done.
What did you
And that's Tom if you would like that done.
say? Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do a motion for that today, or do we just want to ask Tom about that?
Do a motion to
do we have to do a motion to ask Tom though? We can just ask him, right?
Right.
The motions are just for the
Is that
commissioners?
for new fencing? Well, interesting, we just signed a contract to modify fencing up there. We did that, I think it was maybe last week or so, because the fencing has to be modified around where we're putting the HVAC system on the exterior. I can't remember how much that was, but that's a pretty significant job we're getting ready to do up there with fencing right now. So it would be best if you think something needs to be done in fencing, best to find out now if it could potentially be a modification to something existing, or would it have to be something, another all-new request?
Plus, I guess we'd have to see, since they're gonna be modifying to put the HVAC system in, how much space they'll be taking up. Yeah, but we can go,
We can ask Tom,
and
like you said,
see,
Peggy, we
like,
can ask him
yeah.
first, and then whatever his response is, then we'll come back and then what Commissioner Lukasevich said about the fence situation, yeah.
Is it in bad condition, the side fence, or what? That
This
you
was
guys
to
are.
add a
Oh,
run.
an adder run on.
Not yet.
So on the other side?
Yes.
What would be, I'll call it the upper side, I guess, I don't know,
Yeah.
the road side.
I'm not sure where the
Yeah.
HVAC system's
To add.
going.
going to be laid out on the outside, but if we can add a run,
Mm-hmm.
because it's our understanding when the dogs are in the kennels, which is great that the new kennels are up. When the dogs are in the kennel, then if the kennels are full, they can't have a dog run in that area and stretch its legs.
Right.
So it'd be nice to have a separate run for the dogs while the other ones are outside enjoying their time
Got it.
too. Mhm.
But yeah, let's ask Tom first.
Okay. Mhm.
And then, yeah, for sure. Okay, any other new business?
Again, I just want to say the staff does an excellent job. Thank Tom, the girls, everybody, the volunteers. The number of dogs that was up at the kennel at one time was overwhelming. We've all seen it being up there at one time or another. The amount of work that goes into caring for their dogs, and I really, really have to say they do an excellent job caring for the dogs, cleaning up the kennels, having a system in place as far as getting the dogs out, getting them walked, getting their food, and starting their day all over again. So to go from 30 dogs to 14 dogs over the summer is an excellent accomplishment, and they all should be thanked and commended for their extra work, especially working in this heat and caring for the dogs, because it's a big task, and I don't think people realize how much work goes on up at the shelter. So I commend them for everything they do and thank them.
Yeah, and then the only other topic I know we were talking about, but I want Jason to be here, but we can put it on the agenda under new business, is the difference between a cruelty officer and a humane officer, and just like what that looks like and all of that. And I know when I was talking to Jason, we don't technically have one in Carbon County, and possibly like how would that look like if we would get one and all of that. But like I said, I really want Jason to be here. That's his wheelhouse, not mine, for sure. So yeah, we'll put that on the next time he's here, hopefully in October, to talk about that. So. But that's all I had for new business. Do we have any further business? No. All right, then the next meeting, time and place, will it be at 44 Susquehanna? Do we know?
Yeah.
It's supposed to.
Supposed to be. The one that wouldn't be is the November one because
Right.
of the election. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so next meeting, time and place is October 3rd, Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. at 44 Susquehanna Street, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. And then can I have a motion to end the meeting?
Motion.
Okay, can I have a second?
I second it.
Awesome. So let's